Hey kids, welcome to section 1.4 piecework. Today we're going to learn how to compute total pay on a piecework basis. So I want you to think about if you've ever been paid per item or per service. There are actually lots of jobs that pay you on a piecework basis. So your piecework pay when you're paid for each item you produce or service you perform. It's a compensation on a per unit basis. Employees are paid according to the number of units or items produced instead of how much time they are spending working. So for instance, if you worked at McDonald's, you wouldn't get paid $15 per hour. You would get paid 50 cents for every Big Mac that you put together back in the kitchen. Piecework pay most commonly can be found in production-heavy environments such as manufacturing, automotive repair, plumbing, carpentry, jewelry making, painting, construction, anything where you're making stuff with your hands, probably. If you want to calculate your total pay for a piecework, all you're going to do is take the rate that you're earning per item or per service and multiply it by how many items were produced or performed, depending on what you're doing. So I've got lots of examples if you're still kind of confused on what piecework pay is. So the first example, Lenny is a cheese packer at Cheddar Express. He is paid 52 cents for every case of cheese he packs and loads onto delivery pallets Monday through Saturday, and 64 cents for every case he packs and loads on Sunday. So there's two different pays going on. Lenny packed and loaded the following cases of cheese this week. What is Lenny's gross pay for the week? All right, so we have Monday through Saturday amount, and then we have a Sunday amount. So let's see, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nothing on Saturday, and then Sunday. So we need to add up Monday through Friday and find the total amount because we're going to need that to find how much he made Monday through Saturday. So if I add up the 225, the 219, the 227, 207, 231, I get a total of 1,109. So I'm going to take my rate for Monday through Saturday, which is 52 cents. And I'm going to multiply by how many he put together, 1,109. That's going to give us $576.68 for Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, he earned 64 cents an hour, or cheese, and he did 226 of those. So that means on Sunday, he earned $144.64. To find his gross pay for the week, that means I'm going to add up how much he earned each of those. I get a total of $721.32. Not bad for a week of packing cheese. All right, next example. Juan is a finisher in a furniture plant. He's paid $1.25 for every coffee table he finishes and 97 cents for every end table he finishes. Juan finished 232 coffee tables and 451 end tables this week. What is Juan's pay for the week? So I need to figure out how much he made putting coffee tables, finishing those, how much he made finishing end tables, and then his gross pay will be to add them together. So first let's do coffee tables. He gets $1.25 for each one of those, and he had 232 coffee tables. Maybe we circle these because they go together. So if I do $1.25 times 232, I get $290. If I move on to end tables, he got paid 97 cents for each of the end tables, and he finished 451 of those. That gives him $437.47 for end tables. Gross pay is going to be, to add them up, $727.47. All right, last example on this page, Samuel Cota works at a barber shop. He charges $16 per haircut. On Monday, he gave 22 haircuts. What is his total pay? So this is piecework pay. You're performing a service at $16 per haircut, and he's performing 22 haircuts. So $16 a haircut times 22 haircuts is $352. All right, let's go on to the next page. 3 more examples. Gina Green gets paid $3.15 for each window that she washes. She washed 9 windows on Saturday, 12 windows on Sunday, and 7 windows on Monday. What is her total pay? All right, easy way and a hard way. I could find the total number of windows she washed altogether and multiply by the price. Or I could find how much she earned each of the 3 days and then add those up together. I think it's easier to find the total that she washed. So let's find the total windows by doing the 9 windows, the 12 windows, and the 7 windows, adding those up, and we get 28 windows. Now that we know how many windows we washed, we can take how much we get per window, $3.15, and multiply it by how many windows she washed. That's going to give us a total gross pay of $88.20. All right, next example, James Acosta sells cakes and cupcakes. He earns $2 for each cake that he sells and 75 cents for each cupcake that he sells. Last week he sold 20 cakes and 48 cupcakes. What is his total pay? All right, looks like we have cakes and cupcakes here. I'm going to circle the cake numbers to make it easier to find them. And then the cupcake numbers are the underlined ones. So let's do cakes first. Cakes, he gets $2 a cake, and he sold 20 cakes. So that's $40. Cupcakes, he gets 75 cents a cupcake, and he sold 48 cupcakes. That's $36. Total pay, add them up. James got a total of $76. All right, last one. Carl Juarez offers to pay you $11 for washing each car in the used car lot. There are 17 cars in the lot. How much would you get if you washed all the cars? Oh, look, there's my car. You would take how much you get paid per car, $11, and multiply it by how many cars on the lot, 17. Carl would earn $187 from washing cars. All right, kids, that's the end of section 1.4. If you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, keep calm and keep trucking.